Hello, this is Roger Muntu, and I'm doing this presentation on dissertation deconstruction, which is it was a really great exercise for me, I have to admit. So what I did is, this is my class, beginning applied research in business intelligence. My first dissertation was on technology-based music courses and non-traditional music students in secondary school, which I found really interesting, and it's one of my choices. This one was mainly talking about the differences. Well, the purpose, of course, of the project itself was to uh, gather some information about technology-based music classes being taught in secondary schools for the purpose of assisting traditional music teachers in the development and teaching of non-traditional music classes that focuses on using technology, because there's always that difficulty for those who only know traditional music to learn how to use technology. And so that's what the this dissertation was about. My second option was a conceptual approach to encourage quality child adult technology interaction, exploring the receptive of Guam parents to the storing with technology approach, which is also really interesting as a dissertation, um, because as the author says, every story has a beginning, middle, and end. So his story on Guam, many people have helped to shape, his story, and of course he named his parents, and these teachers and things like that. But the story, the um, uh, dissertation itself, is the author who's recognizing, acknowledging the current issue with the digital divide in regard to society, desperate technology access, use, knowledgeable or knowledge and skills. The purpose of the study, of course, was to investigate the potential with storing with technology to reduce the intergenerational digital divide between children, the digital native, that's how we call them today, and parents who the digital immigrants, the way he called them on this dissertation. The purpose was to explore the potential with storing with technology as enriching child adult technology activities, how children, kids, and can interact with adults who are just learning technology. So that was my second one. The third one, which I find also really important, especially because myself as a journalist, I thought it would be great to little bit explore this subject that I found really interesting. The title, of course, as you can see, is Citizen Journalism and Digital Voices, instituting collaborative process between global youth, technology, and media for positive social change. And that's pretty much also what caught my eyes there, for social change. Um, as the author elaborated, millions of youth in developing countries are described by UNICEF as invisible and excluded. They live at the margins of society, facing challenges to their daily existence, powerless to make positive changes. But the emergence of citizen journalism in digital storytelling may offer these youth a chance to share their voices and positively impact their lives. The internet and mobile devices have allowed ordinary citizens to become citizen journalists by sharing news when and where it happens with a global audience. Digital storytelling is also growing as a means of sharing one's personal story with a larger audience than ever before. Both these emerging areas of digital communication have proven effective in creating change in a variety of setting, from politics to corporation. So I thought this was really, really interesting. Um, After reading all these articles, I have to be honest that these papers have. I thought that these papers have straightforward research questions and objectives relevant to the field of the study. The research design and methodology were really appropriate for the research questions that they were asking on those dissertation, and the data collected were analyzed rigorously. You can tell with all the details well done. The conclusion, of course, summarized the implication for practice and future research. What was done poorly, I have to be honest, I really searched on those dissertation. I, I don't know if being too long is it's poor, but I don't think it is. But they were long. But honestly, I could not find anything done poorly on these dissertation. I think they were well done. Now, the one that really caught my eye, again, because I'm in the media, I thought it was the citizen journalism and digital voices instituting a collaborative process between global youth, technology, and media for positive social change. Maybe because of what I do, because I think their research question, when they ask people look to the news for accurate pictures of what is happening worldwide. However, is that achieved by the media today? That also one of the question. Would people who heard the emotional tales care enough to do something? Could personal stories create enough awareness of problems to generate a critical mass of people who would no longer tolerate global inequities? I thought those questions those are the questions, and I think they were really important. Now, how did they catch the reader's attention? How did they caught my attention and tie the research question to a larger real world issues? I think the author did consider a literature review of effective writing strategies. He used storytelling techniques and engage in significant and specific examples of how his research findings are applied to real world issues. So I guess that was the connection there. Um, Literature review now. Where does their dissertation fit into the wider literature? I think this dissertation aims to tell the story of Jump and determine whether teaching young people how to use technology and media to share their stories would empower these youth and positively affect their lives. And I think that's the key. This dissertation identifies the existing literature gaps and explains how the research fills these gaps. It also explains in detail, really, how the research was conducted using rigorous and appropriate methods that are clearly explained and justified. Study design, are they studying hypothesis, confirmatory study, or exploring a new area? I think this dissertation test is a hypothesis, is a confirmatory study. It describes a research design appropriate for testing the hypothesis study. It also presents the result of the data analysis clearly and concisely. What kind of data they collected and how they collected. This dissertation used archival research. The author used email, uh, correspondence, field notes, videos, photos, podcast, and other planning and marketing materials, all from existing records. And so that's why they're all archives. What were the variable used? That the study used independent variable on this dissertation. Now, as for the result, what analysis did they use to test the hypothesis? This dissertation used content analysis. First, The author analyzed qualitative data, as I mentioned earlier, such as text and images, to identify themes and patterns in the data collected. Then the interpretation of the data was organized and presented around topics that emerged from the archive materials. Where the hypothesis, were there the hypothesis supported? I think the hypothesis was supported based on the availability of the evidence at the time they conducted the study. However, further research may reveal additional information, of course, that may challenge or refute the original hypothesis to ensure, as the author say, reliability of the content analysis. A researcher colleague of the author reviewed the coding and interpretation of archived materials to ensure inter-rater readability, reliability, which also, I guess, was a way uh, to prove that. So I guess pretty much I'm done with my my dissertation, not my dissertation, by my project tonight. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you.